Hello and welcome to the 445 Productive Joy Show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early, 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Guys, today we're talking about heart and various iterations. Heart being of heart, being of courage, but also having a heart for other people, a heart in a multitudinous series of ways. So thanks for joining us. Let's just dive right into the topic. So we're talking again about this idea of the heart, a thing that from time memorial, certainly in the ancient Egyptian context, you may know about the image of the saying that a heart is light as a feather in the iconography of a scale, and one like an old school scale with two little plates, and one scale is a feather, the other scale is a heart. That was the ancient Egyptian who called themselves, who called their land Kemet, the land of the blacks, and themselves Kamal, K-A-M, black people. That was how they understood once your person died physically, when you had to go and deal with the higher powers. You had to go through this thing called the 42 negative confessions and say, I have not killed someone, I have not done these things. And as long as your heart is light as a feather, meaning you don't lie, because when you lie, they believe, or you do things that are unjust, it makes your heart heavy, right? And so both in that judgment hall, as they call it, but also in day-to-day life, the goal is to keep one's heart as light as the feather. So the heart has for a very long time been an icon of both courage, spirituality, and love. So that's today's topic. So point one is, I'm reading the book of Psalms again. So each morning, if you know the show, I read sacred text, to start my day, to get ready for this show, but to do other stuff, to get ready for my life, mostly. So I'm reading the book of, I've cycled back around to the book of Psalms. I'll read the book of Proverbs next, right? So I love the book of Psalms because in the Old Testament, you get a sense of the psalmist, who people attribute most of the Psalms to David. And he probably wrote at least versions of some of these songs, but Psalms, which means just songs. But other people, of course, contributed, or they were penned by other people altogether. But we think that the psalmist David, who was the main psalmist, wrote at least part of these psalms. And what comes across in David's psalms is just his heart for God, his heart for his people. It's just a beautiful cat. I've always loved him the most of any biblical, next to Jesus, most of any biblical figure. So it's good to cycle back to the book of Psalms and read these beautiful psalms again. So and so he talks about, and I'm reading Psalm 25 today. He talks about how God, we call him in our family one love. How one love examines my heart, tests me. I've lived a blameless life. He talks about. I can't make that claim, but that's what he says, right? But the idea of, and he says, so I will praise you in the congregation. I'll praise you from the rooftops, right? I feel that way when I'm close to the Most High, close to one love, close to God. I want to just praise God, which is in part, that's why I have this show, just to be able to offer kind of just a spirituality-centered way of living. Again, I'm not trying to convert or preach to you. I'm just saying, whatever your particular approach to spirituality, God, it's good to have that be a consistent practice. So anyway, so he talks about examining your heart, which is, really taking that stock of where you're at in a ritualized way. That's certainly a challenge. I know for me, because it's best, I'd rather not even deal with myself sometimes. I'm just going to keep moving, But examining one's heart, one's motives, where one is at, how one is feeling, that's good. That's a good practice, right? But not just to examine it to be a armchair psychologist, but also to take action, as he talks about. He's a man of action, 100%, at least how he's depicted in the Old Testament. And so then point two is you want to take action on what you're learning about your heart. If you need to make some changes, if you need to be more courageous, hop on that. If you need to work on be more loving, hop on that, so that you may, which goes right into point three, go about and do the work that needs to be done. I mean, we're in these are difficult times for all people, but certainly black people who've been under the boot of America for so long. When this whole attack on critical race theory, it's really an attack on black people saying, hey, I'm tired of y'all mistreating me. And white folk, at least on the right, primarily Republicans, but it's more than just Republicans, obviously, are saying, shut up. You don't tell me when to get my foot off your throat. I mean, that's the governor in Florida, Donald Trump. I mean, I can go on. So but it's emboldened other white people to think, yeah, black people, Supreme Court justice, yeah. It's so the spirit of the nation of America has really changed under Trump, and it's a much more hostile environment for black people. It's really, and then of course, as an aside, one response to some black people is to become like Clarence Thomas, to seek white people to love them or to kowtow, or some of these people, the attorney general there, and what state is that? He just married the senator's niece. I think it's Tennessee. These people, man, these cats. Woo. It breaks your heart when black people are so broken down by racism that they actually hate themselves and go against what's best for their own people because they have so much self-hatred. It's really, but we understand because that's how racism works. It gets inside of you and it works against you. I'm saying all that is why we need those who are not in that camp, including folks who are not black, all people, to be about justice and equity and fairness and love. Let me not get to preaching. Let me just encourage you in however way you think is best to be about justice and abundance for your family, your communities, your ancestors, and yourself, and go do something good on the planet. Boom, goes the dynamite. Appreciate y'all.